In this tutorial, I will teach you how to create a new article by using an plugin called React-quill. And in the options, we can set whether this article is published or not. In this rich text editor, we can import our image to build our new article layout. We need to install a new package called React-quill. This is the component that we can use the rich text editor to edit our article. So we go to our console and start install this package. So we first enter npm install React-quill and wait for the installations. In our current project, we have done the new article page, but however, we only contain the words new article in this page. In the next sessions, we are going to modify of this page. First, we need to go to newarticle.js and import the package what we have installed. Firstly, we can import our React-quill from the package. And we also import the style of the text editor. So they provide different kinds of theme that we can apply. For me, I just want to use the no theme. So we import React-quill from the destination and we quill.no.css. And then we need to edit our random method here. So first of all, we need to create our container and using the Bootstrap framework to build our new article.js layout. So we go to the top here and we import the container row column, maybe cut header, cut body, form good, label, import, button from our React package. Okay, then we go to build our layout. First, we change this div into a container. In this container, we have a row element. The row element is going to contain the column element. So we first create a column which assign the attribute for the responsive UI. So we enter SL to 9, LG to 9, MD to 8, SM to 12, and XS to 12 for the first column. And we also make the same thing to the second column, but this time we change our value. So make sure that the value of each attribute, the totally added together cannot exceed 12 in a row here. So this is the Bootstrap concept. So if you want to know more about the Bootstrap layout, so you can go to Bootstrap website to understand more. And we also start creating our layout. We add the H2 headings here and we assign the class, which is a session title. And we also import the session title, which is a new articles. And here we can create a new from good. This from good is using for us to import the article titles. So firstly, we have add our label here. enable, we have a class name called classes.label. And here we can add title in here. And then we have a input here. This input is used for us to input our article titles. So the type of this input is text. With the name, we can call it maybe articles title, and we have the ID as the same with the name article title. And we can assign some placeholder here. For me, we leave it blank, and here we have the onChange method. We leave it blank here. Maybe we just console.not something, and we have the value here. The value we need to handle for this article is somehow if we're going to pass an article value in this new article here, which means we are editing the existing article, we need to put our original article title in this input field. So we have this .stay article object with the title. That means in the stay here, we need to create our new state called articles. This article object is contain all elements within our article. We have the title attribute here. We have the content attribute here. We also have the create day. The create day is the same of the day in this moment. And also we have the feature image attributes here, which means later on we can upload our features image for this article. We can have an attribute called is published. So our website can only search for the published article. Otherwise, the people cannot search for the private article. And also we have the attribute called last modified with the same date we have currently do it now. And we have the create user ID, which is used to check whether we have permission to edit this article in the later tutorial. So we get back here. In here, we finish this input field here. And next step, in the next form group, it is the content of this article. So in here, we input our React-quill. We just imported. And in here, okay, we close it here. We need to import in the React-quill component here. We need to import different kinds of required attributes. The first attribute is reference, which is used to reference this attribute for himself. So we create a quill state, which is reference for this React-quill component. So we don't need to know what is that meaning. For the later on, we will use this for our advanced use of the React-quill. And we also have an attribute called value, which is reference the same with the content of the articles. So we enter article.content. And we also have the onChange method. This onChange method is used to modify our article into our state. So we will do the setState method in here. So in this moment, we just not for the change. Okay. So we apply our theme, which is snow. And we have the module attributes and the format attributes. So in these two attributes, module attributes is used to customize our React-quill layout. So in his website, we have the settings show in here. So we scroll down for here, we can know that our custom toolbar attributes. We can customize our toolbar for our usage, which means if you want to enable some of the HTML tag in here, for example, you don't want to let your writer to insert our image, so we disable the image button in here. So if I want to user to import some other embed here, like YouTube videos, we can also modify in here. For me, I just use our draft written component here. So I just copied from the example from their documentations. So in these modules, we have the toolbar. Into toolbar, we have a heading 1, heading 2. We can set the form of the content. We can change the size of the form. We have the bold, italic, underline, etc. There's many things for us for settings. And also we have a other attributes called format. This format is used to reorder this layout. So for me, I also copied from the official website from the React-quill. So you can explore for the module and the format later on. So after we have copied these two and we start import our module here and we change the format here. Okay, almost done. Then we need to change our onChange method for these two. Okay, firstly, we need to create a new method called onChange article title and onChange article content. So we go here and enter onChange article title. We pass the value in here and we make the arrow function. So in here, we have the set state method and we have set the article state. Be careful of this edit here. We need to use the dot separator to spread out our article and set the title state here. Otherwise, we cannot just change the title into our input value, which means if we didn't have this spread operator here, the whole article may just only contain the title attribute after we call this method. If we have this spread operator, which is reference this .state.articles, only the field of title will be changed. For the existing value like content, last modified date or create date, they won't change. And also we need to create a new method called onChange article content. We also input the value. Okay, so we do the same things. Okay, we just copy it. And this time we change content. Okay, so we copy these two functions in here. We call this .onChange article title and we pass each .title, each .target.value, which is referencing the value of the imported words in the input. Okay, in here for the React-quill, all input will become a event object, and this event object is the same of our HTML content. So in here, we need to just input this .onChange article content, and we pass it the event E for the attribute, we don't need to have the it.target.value because this event doesn't have these attributes, so we can just import e for the parameters. Okay, then in here, in this column, we want to first print out whether we can do it on the right track. So we have a button, maybe we click here, and we have the onClick method. We want to print out our state. So let's see whether we can do it correctly. Okay, so we go to Google Chrome and let's see what's happened. Okay, we go to Google Chrome and you can see our layout in here is the 9/12 respective in the left hand side, and the remaining size will be empty because we haven't changed everything. So if we're going to input our title, let's say this is my title, and we added some HTML code here. We can set the title, a heading 1, and can set the bold, we can set the italic here. So when we click the button we have just created, so we can see our article object is do it right. Okay, you can see the title is the same of our title what we have input, and we have the content here which is used the same of we added code here. So later on we will save the whole article object to our firebase-firestore and you can create our new article. So we go back to our code to do the remaining stuff. Okay, we go back here and we first delete this button because we are not printing the state in the final productions. So we first, in the right hand side, we want to let the user to change whether this article is published or not. So in here we can add the card component here. With the card component we can add the card header attributes. Okay, so we set this article settings, and we have the card body attribute. In here we have the from group which contain a label with the class name. Okay, we start classes dot label, and we set it to the published. And we also have the input component here, and we have set the type to select because we have two options. The first option is we set this article to be published, and we set that this article is not published. So we use the select in here, and we set the name, maybe published, and we set the ID to the publish. Okay, so in here, in the import select, in the input select, we have trial component, we have options. The first one is false, and the second options is true. Okay, so after we select false, which means this article is not published. If we select true, this article will be published. And we also have another form group, which is a button. This button is used to create our article, which means we send the article to the Firebase. So we can set the color from our React library. We set the color for danger for the red, and we also have an attribute called onClick. When we click this button, our article will be sent to the Firebase. So we have the function called submit. Okay, so we have a onClick method. In our current state, we just import print out an article. Okay. So we set the text in the button for submit. Okay. And then we start editing our CSS. Okay. Okay, in the new article.modules.css, we have a label. We just import here. With a label, we set the flow to left, set the font size to 12 pixel, and set the color to 6C, 7.5, and 7D. And also, we go back to the new article.js and save it, and let's see what happened. Okay, so you can see our article setting is on the right position, and we can change whether it's published or not. But when we set the article is published and we enter something and we click the submit button here, and you can see our is published attribute haven't changed because we haven't set the function, haven't set the static method to change it. So we go back to our code. So in the code, we have a new method. We can call it to the onChange published. Okay, onChange published. Also, so we pass the value here and make it to the arrow function. We set stay at the same of the previous function we have done before, but this time we set the stay is on publish. Is published. In here, we need to check whether the value is equal to true. Because when we call this function, our options, the text in the options, we will pass it to these functions. So if I check that the true value is the same of this true, because we are compared to the string, we set this to true. Okay, so we go here for this input. Okay, so we have another attribute called onChange. So whether we select this, select our options title, we'll pass it to the onChange publish function here. So we pass event.target.value here, and we done here. Okay, after we finish everything, let's try whether we have finished this new article. So we enter something here, and this time we set the is published attribute to true. And you can see after we click the submit button, our state will be printed, and you can see is published is set to true. If you set the false and print again, and you can see is published is being false. So, but however, you may notice that for this attribute, create user ID, which is used to pass out our UID from Firebase. So in the next tutorial, I will teach you how to use the React readers to pass out our Firebase of an object to fill out these attributes. Clipversity is a self-learning platform with knowledge-based recommendation systems, providing a personalized learning experience for the self-learner and the school students. People could share their knowledge and exchange for the rewards. We are doing the next generation learning tools for the next generation of learners.